Zumba at the Village Hall. That's Stanley Village.
Yeah.
9:30 to 10:30 a.m. £5 per class. Where's the yoga? There's no yoga. Everything Cotswolds. We're reading the signboard. That way we can figure out what's going on, like need help finding an NHS dentist. Everything Cotswolds.
Are you sneakily filming me?
I'm filming you.
I'm giving you the shake of the head. Come on then.
Come on
Let's
then.
get into your churchy church.
This is our church over here, St. Denis. Thank you. Oh, I think it's 4 o'clock. Here's the effigy of Thomas More. He's a Knight Templar. There he is. And there's his sword and shield, and his dagger, and his armor. And there's his faithful dog. And just here's his wife Isabel. And you can see she's wearing her wimple and her tunic. She's praying. Maybe she had some prayer beads there or something. Rosary. And then at her feet is her little dog. Aren't they beautiful? I don't know whose grave this is. And this one is John Hudson, son of William Hudson, in 1687. Can you see the Christ here? Just there is his head, and his halo, and his hands are up like that in a blessing. I think there's something that looks like a leaf right here, and he has a cross in his hand and his robe, and there's an angel right there. These are medieval paintings. The angel's hand holding up to Christ like this. There were all sorts of paintings here, and they're now gone. I think some of them are in Oxford in the Ashmolean. And here's the most beautiful angel. I wonder if this camera will focus. Ah, there we go. There's the angel's face and the angel's halo. And here's a beautiful wing. Goes up like this. And he's holding his hand like that. And then there's all these rays coming down from his hand. It's supposed to blessing. And here's another wing. Isn't that amazing? I suppose there were all sorts of paintings in here too. Above Isabel and above Thomas. Once upon a time. Thank you.
And the gatekeeper.
You are the gatekeeper. And now that we've seen Thomas and Isabel, we're going to go home. You know, I absolutely love to visit the Moors in the church, and I had it in mind to paint myself a little angel. But I don't have any medieval paper or medieval books. The closest I could get is this book of the Tudors, but some beautiful portraits in here with those moon-lidded eyes. Do you guys know what I mean? So I decided just to pull out this, what is it, Anne of Cleves or one of those Tudor wives and paint myself an angel. that looks a little bit like her, using her for reference on this old sheet of metal. So I just started with the face. You know, these frescoes, I was reading about them, and I said they were in the Ashmolean. They're not. Actually, they don't exist anymore. They're completely gone, except for what we see. But in 1936, I believe, somebody made copies, some drawings before they were completely destroyed by, I guess, age. And those are in the Bodleian Library of Medieval Manuscripts, those drawings. So some of it does survive. Anyway, here I'm just drawing an angel out in pencil, and guys, it takes 2 hours for me to do a painting, so it's kind of ridiculous for you to sit here in real time. So I just speed it up to show you the pertinent points. I drew myself an angel, and I wanted to draw a hand on it, and then I thought, oh, I better look at my hand to see how the hand goes. And then once I've drawn it out in pencil, I just go over it with a pen with black ink, and then get my watercolors out. And I start with the flesh tones of the face, but I can't do it on my dirty palette, so I thought I'd just mix a little flesh tone that I could warm up and cool down in a little bowl. These beautiful little porcelain things have a use. And just go all over the face and start laying in the color. Anyway, it says in the Bodleian Library that above each of the recesses were angels holding a sheet with a naked figure representing the soul of the departed, and lots of shields displaying the arms of the Delamores, Thomas More's family, and the Harcourt and the Buckinghams. And it says, at the back of the left recess was a seated Madonna flanked by groups of kneeling persons, men on the left and women on the right, probably members of the family. Oh, you might also notice that my camera has skipped a bit of detailing, and that's because my battery died. Yeah, I'm not very good at this. Anyway, I'm putting in some feathers on the wings. You know how they used to do it in the sort of the naive style is what I'm going for. So I've got my angel pretty well painted in the colors, and I know I put blue in its wings, and it says in the frescoes that they were only ochre, gold, and white, but I kind of wanted blue in the wings. And here I'm clearing off my eraser so I can erase some pencil marks in the wings. And it says that there was a seated Christ, and he had an orb in the left hand, and the right hand was raised in a blessing. So what I thought was a cross was an orb. I guess maybe it's an orb on a cross. But beautiful, huh? Painted in 1370. So here I'm just doing some shading on the wings. I guess it's all kind of a process, you know, you lay down the color and then you shade over it and it goes deeper and darker and darker. When you paint on this kind of ephemera, you can't really go wet on wet technique. You really do have to do the gradual, you know, layers and layers to deepen and to make it all darker. But I kind of like that. You know, it takes me several hours, days sometimes, and I go over it with a wet brush. There's one brush loaded with color and one brush that just has water on it to blend it out a little bit so I don't have definite lines. I kind of like that look. Yep, and more shading. Let me know if this kind of stuff gets really tedious for you guys. I know that a lot of people like to, you know, to paint and like to see what I do, and I'm very, very happy to show you guys or to answer any questions that you guys have. I'm putting in some, oh, I don't even know what's on my palette, blues and grays and mauves and a little bit of sienna as well, to sort of, not to have a real blue there, but to give it an aged look. I love the old medieval manuscripts and the illuminated manuscripts, you know, the paintings all around it. I wonder if I tried doing that once. I have a tutorial on my blog about that. I'll link to it in the below, in whatever that section is that you can link. And if you guys want to go and have a look at it, then you can make your own illuminated letter with gold and reds. It's funny how they used to use ochres and purples and golds. They never really used very much green, I don't think. Maybe green was sort of the color of grass and it was a common color. Nobody wanted to use that. Now I'm going in with some pretty dark browns and mixing up some darker browns and ochre sort of colors. I'm going to keep on working on the shadows. Now I realized that I left all my small brushes in Vancouver, all the teeny tiny ones, so I'm going to have to go and buy some at Art in Action, but usually there's really good deals on art bits and brushes and tools and things like that at Art in Action, so I'll see what I can find. I tried to give the angel that kind of braided hair that they go around with, or rolled hair or something, and they roll it over a cloth. So that's what I'm going for. Now I'm just adding in some ochre. You see that sort of reddish brownish mix that I've mixed up in that little wee bowl. I think I'm going to go around with the ochre all over the place and just give it hints and hints of outlines of ochre. And again, follow it up with my wet brush. Oops, can't see. One all around the halo. Do you guys twist the page? I twist the page a lot. Sometimes it's really fun painting upside down, and then you can just see what you get. Okay, there we go. Just ochre outline everything. Sort of like a shadow on that gold dress. Or robe, or tunic, or whatever it is that angels wear. Time to evaluate. There's something missing in that halo because it's really, really flat, and I'm considering making some lines, so I'll just sketch that out on my piece of newspaper, I guess, and see if I like it. And I do like it, so I'm just going to sketch it lightly in pencil, sort of radiating out from its head, and then paint it in with my ink. I love these permanent pigment pens. Much easier than my ink and quills. Now I'm just going to go around outlining the whole angel, because believe it or not, the watercolor dulls down the black ink and washes it away to some degree, and it's really nice to bring out some of the black outlines. For me anyway, that's what I like. I know some people probably don't like that, but I do. And now I'm just going to draw some medallions down one side of the tunic because it just looks too plain. And I'm going to pick up my white gel pen because by now it's been 4 hours later and I'm anxious to get down to the end of this painting and start something new. And I'm just going to use that instead of white ink and just put a few highlights here and there. Get down the medallions on some of the feathers on its wings. It's always nice to bring back the whites, or to bring whites in, especially if you're painting on ephemera. You never have whites. It's always yellows and so on, and so it's nice to bring back some of those white highlights, and whether you use white ink or watercolor or a gel pen, it doesn't matter. Or chalk is really good. Sometimes I've used chalk. Now I'm going to radiate some white lines out of its halo too, so it looks very holy. And there, that's me finished. That's my medieval angel right there, as inspired by my trip to our church and the frescoes. And I put it on a page of Mendelssohn's with the word tranquil or tranquilla at the top. Tranquil. And that's it, guys.